Hi, my name is Lydia. I am working for the Effective Computing Group at the German Research Center for Artificial Intelligence. Today my human colleague Tanja Schneeberger is going to present what she did with my virtual colleague, the social agent Gloria, to help people how to cope with stress.
Thanks, Lydia. Persistent mental stress is a massive problem in today's society as it has many negative long-term impacts. One reason for that is that the body is not in balance. With stress management training, we can bring the body back in balance. One method in stress management training is biofeedback training. It aims to have positive effects on stress coping by raising awareness for usually unconscious physiological patterns. By providing immediate and continuous feedback for variations in physiological activity derived by several sensors, the trainee learns a voluntary control of physiological functions. A trainer is present for the entire training to explain strategies how to get a better control of physiological parameters, for example by giving instructions how to relax. Physiological functions chosen for biofeedback training can include muscle tension, blood pressure, or heart rate variability. Unfortunately, there is often not enough time for therapists to lead the trainee through the whole training. Therefore, we developed a biofeedback training with a social agent in the role of a trainer. As physiological parameter, we chose heart rate variability as an increase of its amplitude is associated with improved physiological functioning as well as psychological benefits. For the trainee, HRV is represented with an arrow. One factor that influences HRV and that is relatively easy to control is respiration. By slowing the breathing rate, most individuals can quickly learn to increase their HRV amplitude. Therefore, we decided to use respiration as second parameter that is feedbacked to the trainee with the help of breathing circles. The arrow and the breathing circles form the biofeedback monitor. The sensors are connected via Bluetooth with the computer that runs the signal interpretation and manages the content, behavior, and interaction of the biofeedback monitor, as well as the social agent that overtakes the role of the human trainer. Like a human trainer, the social agent introduces, leads, and concludes the training. As an addition to standard biofeedback training, we wanted to be able to show stress-inducing material to increase the generalizability of our training. Therefore, we added an image display where we can show tasks, pictures, or videos. Together with a biofeedback expert, we developed a training procedure that includes 4 steps. At the beginning of the training, the virtual coach Gloria introduces herself and the topic of stress. This is followed by a 5-minute baseline measurement in which the trainee can relax and close her eyes in order to reach a relaxed basic level, regardless of the situation from which she had just come to the training. During the tutorial, the biofeedback technique is introduced. The virtual biofeedback trainer explains the breathing circle and gives a 5-minute testing phase to practice an optimal breathing. Then the HRV biofeedback is introduced. A yellow-colored arrow visualizes the HRV value. Every 10 seconds, it gives feedback in 5 steps on how the HRV develops. The goal is that the HRV is kept high. After the tutorial, a 15-minute training phase follows. During this phase, the trainee can experiment with the visual biofeedback to learn how to influence heart rate variability. Like a human trainer would do, Gloria suggests several relaxation techniques like conscious muscle relaxation or the imagination of a positively associated place. In the next training phase, the visual feedback is replaced by verbal feedback of Gloria. As soon as the HRV decreases, Gloria reminds to relax. In the last phase, the stress induction is added. A stress-inducing task, one could imagine everything that creates stress for the trainee. We chose affective pictures, the Stroop task, and a spontaneous talk. However, these tasks could be adapted, for example, to basketballers finding themselves in the situation of a free throw. We evaluated our novel biofeedback training with an experiment. To test its effectiveness, we randomly assigned 71 participants in the experimental group receiving our training or the control group having a stress diary-based training. After the training, we brought all participants into a very stressful task, the Trier Social Stress Test. The TSST consists of two components, a simulated job application interview and a challenging mental arithmetic task. During the tasks, the participants are under steady observation of the experimenter as well as video recorded with a big camera to enhance stress. We measured stress before and after the TSST, the user experience after the training, and task stressfulness and self-performance after the TSST. Overall, we hypothesized that participants will experience less stress when receiving the biofeedback training. The biofeedback training that the experimental group received consisted of 2 training sessions on 2 days with 1 recreation day between the 2 sessions. In both training sessions, participants received the biofeedback training as presented before. Additionally to the training on the first day, participants filled in the pre-questionnaire. After the second session, we measured the dependent variables before and after the TSST. The control group had the same procedure, except that they received a diary-based stress management training. This training promotes conscious discussion, reflection, and mindfulness, and brings order and overview into situations that seem overtaxing. The goal is to get aware of often unconscious triggers of stress. Our results show that the stress level was dependent on the training type. The group with the biofeedback training reported lower stress than the group receiving the stress diaries. Regarding user experience, we found that the biofeedback training was perceived as more novel than the stress diaries. Task stressfulness was lower with the biofeedback training but just missed the significance level. Participants also rated themselves better in the stressful task when they were in the experimental group. Overall, the evaluation of the novel biofeedback training gives evidence that it is a promising approach to learn how to manage stressful situations. Lydia, can you maybe help me again with the conclusion?
Of course. Stress management is important for many people to remain healthy. A stress management training with a social agent can be available to a large target group for prevention and treatment of stress-related problems. As an adjunct, it can raise the effectiveness of therapies for both physical and mental disorders. But Tanja, you are going to overtake the questions, won't you?
Sure, I am happy to take questions.